Hello, everybody. How are you? What about me? Well, I'm fine. I just got kicked off of Webtoon. Interesting. I started Star Wars: The Dark Hunter, producing this fan fiction comic in 2019. I believe it was August or so. I did my first upload right before the COVID lockdowns and everything. So it kind of took off during COVID because, it's something to watch, something to read, whatever. And I had a lot of time on my hands. I was an essential worker, so I had to work like everybody else did. But on my spare time, everything was kind of locked down. So I still had some things to do. So it's been a wild ride. This is a story that I wrote. It used to be a play. It started off as a play at our church, and they were batting around ideas. This is the first thing that kind of came into my head, and I feel it was inspired. I feel this is something, God put on my heart, at least for the play. And so the story began to balloon. It was like an hour long. Normally church plays last a half an hour, 45 minutes or so. But everything that I did and all the story beats was it was an hour long, like almost to the minute every time we did it. We had like a regular cast, then an understudy cast of people that would fill in. The other folks needed a break. We had like a props division. I did all the visuals and the cartoony video stuff that we put in and everything. I had all this inspiration in my head for like different characters, different scenarios. I had backstories for everybody, plotted out in my brain. And in my opinion, because I've been like a Star Wars expanded universe geek for quite a few years now, and Star Wars isn't just movies. It was also comics, it was video games, it was novels. So I wanted to kind of delve into all of these things and expand my own little universe here. So I put it intentionally in the Old Republic. I'm not really too familiar with the Old Republic, just the cinematics and some of the novels. I thought it was an era that wouldn't step on any current continuity toes. In fact, I could weave this tale in and out of there without damaging anything. So I did my best to make it interesting. They'd be kind of referential of the original Star Wars. I mean, you got the mandatory cantina scene, hero's journey, different things, but I wanted to put the gospel twist on it. So I figured, hey, the Apostle Paul, he was the biggest convert, I think, in the New Testament. Aside for them demoniacs and people that were delivered and everything like that, I think the Apostle Paul was a guy who was the head of an organization, the main driver, and then got humbled and had to come up through the ranks of the underdog organization then. And I felt like that was a good thing. So he was a hunter. I said, how about call it the Dark Hunter? And that was just kind of came out. And so it took off pretty good. So that being said, the comic has been a real thing for me. Like I've always loved comic books. Like when I was a kid, I think like this. I think, and when I want to tell a story, I picture the comic book cover in my head. I want to tell someone what happened. I try to get visually and verbally at the same time. And I was good at artwork too. I could draw. I was that kid in the class. Everyone wanted to see what you were drawing this time. I put down the pen and the pencil a long time ago, though. Not really drawing or trying to become better or do kind of any sequential storytelling. But it's in the brain. It's in the blood. So obviously, I started up drawing again, and I needed a lot of practice. I looked at a lot of live streams, how you draw a comic, how do you color, how do you ink, and just trying to learn some things here and there. And it turned out that I felt, at least, that it was within my capabilities to do this. There's actually a guy at the church who liked to ink, he liked to draw with pen and ink, and he said, yeah, I can ink some of this stuff. I can do comic inking. And another guy who was like an artist, he was kind of flashy, drawing different things, mostly like stoic figures and different things. But he said, he'd do concept art for the play. So I thought he could maybe add some in there. I'd like a flashback sequence would be good if that was a different art style than like the main narrative. So I tried to incorporate these folks in here and see if I could find anyone who could color. There's a brother who said he could letter the thing, and he looked up some tutorials on how to letter, but they weren't like comic book guys, so maybe Ben was, but just my other two friends probably not, and I could see kind of what their work ethic was going to be like, and I'd be waiting a long time, or they'd get bored real quick and move on to something else. So eventually I began to just do everything. I would all the pencil, then the ink, and then then the coloring, and the lettering, and then the publishing. So I chose Webtoon because it was free and it had like all this explanations on how to do it and their standards and everything, and they had this format, and you could I don't know, it was this one everyone was always talking about. So I went on there and I started it that way. So that's all history. Fast forward today. So chapter 1 consists of like an 11 or 15 page intro, the 15 page intro, and then I have 36 pages. I put an end credit scene in there, quote unquote, because I'm pretty cinematic in my thinking too. But I put like 36 pages plus a 15 page intro. It's like 51 drawn pages by me, all right, and colored and everything else. Chapter 2 is where the thing just became crazy. Long when I was doing it, I just had all these different ideas. I was like, we could do this, and then this, and then this, and then this. I was still kind of keeping to the scenes structure, this scene, that scene, this scene. But then I said, well, I need this also to explain what's going on in the background, and I want to draw one of these. And then so basically chapter 2 is like 90 something pages. Also, it had an 11 page intro too that was all done in silence except for the very end. I started collaborating with people, had different people, semi-pros like me, that were coloring and doing their own artwork. I commissioned some fan artwork. Some people on my Discord that I was really heavily into started helping me out. Guys that could ink. A lot of chapter 2 is inked by several people, penciled by me. I wasn't that clean of a penciler. Those guys had a hard time. But colorists, I hired a couple people to color, and some, had some good turnarounds, good stuff. I couldn't really find a penciler. I had a friend, younger guy, do some penciling for me in chapter 3. But it seemed like anytime I added someone into the mix, except for maybe Sarah, the colorist, it costed time. Like, people would just take forever. Oh, they get distracted with this, that, and the other thing. It's just a free thing. I'm doing this for free. It's voluntarily, so it's no big deal to some folks. So I get it, can't be hammered down if it's for free. But there's some things people would disagree on, even though it's my story. But chapter 3 also made it up almost to about a little over 100 pages. I think the last page I drew was like 101 or something like that. This is not counting also the Rogue Ship mini comic. It's like an annual. I call it the annual. That was a 25 page all digital thing that I did at work to fill in the blanks. I felt like we're by this time in the story, Terrace was just this fugitive on the run. Hadn't seen him in battle, really hadn't seen him doing anything exciting. So I did this prequel comic when he was actually a Sith still, and he was the Dark Hunter again and leading his troops, etc. And laid down a lot of the themes and the conflicts that was going to happen in chapter 3. So I had some folks volunteer to be like, character models for certain characters, and some people survived. Those who survived ended up in chapter 3. I ended up making this whole other crew called the Stormfront crew, who survived the annual, and were now in chapter 3, who were part of the people that didn't trust Terrace when he came to the base for refuge with Miga. And it was just I have all these new characters now, and it just ballooned out. Chapter 3 also strike the high page count, and so I said, chapter 3 is supposed to be the last one, but I'm already at 100 pages, so bring on chapter 4. Then it started to become to me that was just taking forever to finish. When I first started this, I was doing a 6-page episode every 3 weeks, drawn, inked, colored, lettered, formatted, upload every 3 weeks, like 6 pages at least or so. But after COVID, etc., personal life changes, things got pretty busy for me, not a lot of creative time. So what's happened is the last 2 or 3 years, it's been like I can do 3 episodes a year. Some of them kind of substantial, but some of them I'm putting something up. I think I lost some of the energy and the momentum, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start cutting my losses here. I need to finish the main story, and the Stormfront crew is kind of becoming like not really a burden or liability, but one of my friends at work says it feels like we're not talking about Terrace anymore, it's just this other crew. So I was gonna focus on the Terrace story, and I decided to do the Stormfront as kind of like a semi-prose or a picture book like story, And I got some good feedback from that too. That was kind of cool. You can see what's going on in people's minds, and plus I can put out an episode with just typing it up and proofreading it over and over again. But it wasn't this labor-intensive comic building either. I don't know who people on Webtoons like to read text though, so I wasn't sure. What ended up happening is I was getting all psyched up to draw some pages one morning, and I woke up to an email. It's like, your comic, The Dark Hunter, has been removed from Webtoons due to copyright infringement. So copyright infringement, it's like 6 years later. I'm not charging any money for what's going on. Well, I turned to find out, I heard on a podcast I was listening to that Disney was courting Webtoons to put some of their stuff on there. So I went and I listened to that video again. I was like, yeah, they're wanting to put some of their comics and their content up on Webtoons. If you know Disney, they have Marvel, they got the 20th Century Fox stuff. I mean, we're talking Star Wars comics, we're talking all the Marvel characters, and Aliens, Predator, all that stuff. Anything's on Disney Plus, they're gonna make a comic about. And it turns out it was right. I went on there. You can log into Webtoons. The first thing on your cell phone at least, but even on your PC, you can see that they say coming soon, and they have all the Disney Marvel brands on there, coming soon. And I did a search on Webtoons on my phone, and nothing Star Wars is there anymore. Like nothing. Webtoons used to have some like comedy ones where people it was called like Blue Milk Tales or something like that, and it was funny stuff, you know, and making fun of the sequels, making fun of the prequels, just having fun Star Wars stories. People have this little sequence they thought would be cool going to the movies. They would put that up there. It was all fanfic stuff. Mine was most solid, I think, as far as storytelling with a purpose that I had seen or looked at. And it was a behemoth, you know, 200, almost 300 pages of content. But yeah, just overnight, everybody got wiped out. It's not just me. I don't feel persecuted. I just felt like shocked at first. And it becomes such a burden. I almost was like, maybe this is a sign for me to just put this thing to bed. But when I go to bed, this is all I think about sometimes. It's kind of sad. But going forward, I don't know what Disney's going to do if they want to put their comics up there behind a paywall. Tapas has a paywall of some kind. I don't know too much about it. Some of these digital comic places have a paywall, and there's free content, you know, like crack. You know, the first one's free. After that, you're going to pay. I don't know what they're going to do. If they just want to put like teasers up on there, the free stuff, then you buy the full comic or whatever. I don't know if they're trying to... I don't know why they would go over here when they have like all their stuff, mostly all their stuff over on Comixology and Amazon. You can get anything you want over there. So that's like the online thing. I buy comics still on Amazon. Very occasionally buy paper, you know, hard copy. But unless it's really good, I have to have it. I only buy trades. I don't buy floppies if I do buy anything. But I'm not sure how they can be available. So anyways, what am I going to do now? Well, it turns out the past year or two, I've been toying around with putting up my own like website just as a comic artist to maybe try to get some commissions or some work or something. So I started putting together these 3D flip books of all the Dark Hunter content. So the introduction, chapter 1, I pretty much have it all done. And I just need a place to host it. I don't know what to do. Kingstone Comics, when you buy their digital stuff, they send you a PDF, and the PDF has all these links to where the digital versions are housed. You just click a link and it opens up in your regular internet browser, and you can flip through it. So I made a couple of these. They look real cool. They sound cool. I can put good controls on there. I should have to publish them somewhere. People can get to them. So what do? I do have a Patreon. I've never really done anything with it. I put a couple images on there. It's not real popular. If this was my job, I'd be all over the place. But it's like a side fun thing that I do, and you know, that's all it is. It's not really. I don't lean into this advertising daily, weekly, putting up videos a week. I'd like to, but I can't. So I want to do a Patreon. I want to do like a coffee page, a Ko-Fi, how we say it, and have these things available for free. You show up, sign up, be a buddy, a partner, whatever. While I finish this story, I want to finish it. You know, I really want to do like the Stormfront. I want to draw that too, make it like a real Star Wars movie where there's the spiritual battle, there's the ground forces fighting, there's the guys in the sky fighting. and everything comes to a head, you know, and edited together. I wanted that to do that. I surrendered that for the prose versus the comic, prose plus the comic. Now I feel like, you know what, Tapas has both novels, and they have you know, the comic stuff available there. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is go ahead and go for that, and we'll see how it pans out. Anyways, moving right along, but the future. So yeah, I'm gonna have something. Me and my son put together just to get the name. We have a website called altermedia.net, and altar as in the altar of God. You know, I was hoping to host like comics, audiobook versions, or acted out motion comic stuff in there, and you know, all sorts of stuff. Later on, I'm going to do some different comics when I get to retire one day, and to just sit down and write sermons and produce comics. So I have a zombie apocalypse idea. I have there's a story that's been brewing in my head for a long time called The Star of Life, and I wanted to do that. So I want to do all kinds of stuff I can charge for. So I want to have a platform people can already see the freebie stuff at, etc. But I got booted out by the mouse, so great. But I had this Webtoon thing down, man, and I got to learn something else. So here we go. I like to make more videos too, more content, because I like to talk to myself. And then over moving pictures. So that's what's coming up. But look for some of the stuff coming up. You know, leave me comments. Tell me what you think. You can, if you're from one of my Discords, hit me up. All right, we'll see if anyone has any ideas. I've been told you can take the Dark Hunter, just do it again, make it in a different universe, use your own terminology. That's kind of cool. I like that idea. My pastor actually had told me that before. Make a version of it you can charge for, because you're putting a lot of work into it. So that's what I'm doing. Putting all this work in, and you know, for free. I love this story. I don't mind it for free. That's fine with me. My wife isn't contesting it, but she encourages it. She buys me art supplies. She thinks I should finish it too, since we put all this work into it. So I want to do something. I want to do all these things. Just need the time. Hopefully I get some time soon. I'm working on that. So if you're a Christian out there, you're a believer, thank you for following me all this time, and pray for me for guidance and wisdom. That's great. If you ain't, bummer, dude. But you know, keep me in your thoughts. If you have any suggestions, etc., because I can be all spiritual about everything, but there's a practical side to this whole thing that I don't know a lot about either. So I'm open to input from anybody. Just like if you're a Christian plumber, you're just going to pray over the pipes, or you're going to know what you're doing, right? So I'm pretty sure this whole, you know, artwork thing, whatever I do that I've been gifted, I feel like that's God wanted me to do something with it, and as a witness. And I think, I'm hoping God can use it for His glory, and also I can be able to support my family, or at least pay some bills with money from whatever I get involved in the future. Yeah. The future's wide open. Who knows? And I think that's all I have to talk about. I was going to say go check out The Dark Hunter on Webtoons, but you can't anymore because of the vindictive rodent. Evil mouse. No, I guess they have their rights too. I mean, I talked to some buddies online, and they're saying they're surprised that I went this far without getting shut down. So I guess I should just count my blessings and shut up, right? At least I got a body of work I can show for it. I just have to put it up somewhere so people can see it. Anyways, thanks for your patience. Thanks for your time. I will talk to you all later. Bye-bye.